as always, Ted, kick us off. Who do you have as your winner of the weekend?
I had to go with Zach Wilson. First game back after the injury, and they go get a really nice road win in Pittsburgh. He played pretty well, had a couple of interceptions, but threw for 250, threw for a touchdown, had some really good drives in the second half. They came from behind, it's come from behind victory, scored 2 touchdowns in the fourth quarter to get the win over Pittsburgh. Thought that was pretty impressive. They were in need of a win. That thing was in jeopardy of falling apart on them. They've had some injuries, had some tough things go down. It was good to see him get back confident. He's a confident player and get that tough road win.
Yeah, I'll say this. Credit to Zach Wilson. You're right. Third and fourth quarter. There was a rough stretch in that game, right? But for him, third and fourth quarter, when they needed plays, he made them. And it really helps when Kenny Pickett keeps throwing it to your defense. I felt so bad for him. Like it started so well. He had the rushing touchdowns, but then it was like, oh yeah, he's a rookie quarterback. He's going to throw it to the other team a lot.
Yeah, 4 turnovers, 4 interceptions for Pittsburgh quarterbacks. Not a great day.
You think Trubisky's like, see, I'm not that bad, because he got pulled. They put Pickett in. Crowd's going crazy there at, what is it now, Acrisure?
It's not necessarily picking a quarterback off of who's better. It's picking a quarterback over who's not the worst. Like, I don't know. Like,
which is not where you want to be as an organization. But I agreed with the decision. And, when you look at the Steelers this year, that drops them to 1-3. Just play Pickett. Let him get the experience. Let him get beat up. Why not? I feel like that's what they're going to do moving forward.
Right. I'm trying to remember what was that quote from, why am I drawing a blank off of the head coach for the Steelers?
Tomlin.
What was his quote? I think it was on Rudolph about why they were going with someone else because he doesn't absolutely kill us or something like that about Rudolph. You remember that?
Yeah. He also said some complimentary things. I think one of my favorite, just because I know some Steelers fans, they were really excited. I think Tomlin was like, Mason Rudolph, he looked like a varsity QB in a JV game. And like everyone was like, yes, he's going to be the savior. And not so much.
Oh, that's great. Good stuff.
Yeah, but that was a nice win for the Jets. They needed it, man. There's no doubt. All right, who is your loser of the weekend?
I had to go with the Baltimore Ravens. Oh my gosh. Blow a 20-3 lead over Buffalo and, have plenty of opportunities to win that game and just could not get it done. They go for it on 4th down late in the game inside the 10-yard line. Get stopped. That was critical. Instead of taking the field goal, would have gave them a 23 to what was it at that point? Would have been 23-20 lead at that point. Yeah. And they decide to go for it. Don't get it. Buffalo gets the ball. Dude, Josh Allen, man, he's not perfect by any stretch, but that dude has a absolute cannon for an arm, and he makes some throws that are just incredible, which he hit Diggs right in the hands with the ball late. That would have been a touchdown, and it had so much juice on it that he couldn't pull it in. But that guy he is really impressive.
What do you think about Buffalo right now? Because I felt like, and I still feel like a lot of people think, they're the best team in the AFC. Their inability to run the football is, can you win a title not being able to run the football? I guess like the Chiefs have done it, but I never felt like the Chiefs' run game was as bad as what Buffalo's got going right now. Like Josh Allen's their biggest weapon running the football.
Yeah. Yeah. Not what you want. Yeah. And I don't know. I like Singletary, but he's more of a It feels like both of their guys are a little bit more like passing down backs than they are just true running backs, if that makes sense.
Yeah, no, I hear you. It's just like that's the only like the defense is good. Josh Allen, like Diggs, like the receiving core solid, like, but the running game is just
I think Von Miller had him a couple of sacks, didn't he?
just rack
I
them
know
up, Vaughn.
he definitely had one. I think he may have had multiple.
They've got him down. They've only got them down at 2 sacks. He's got one though, so
Yeah,
you're right. All right, anything else from that game? Lamar
no,
Jackson, man, yeah, had a chance to go win it, didn't.
yeah, had a chance to win it, couldn't get it done. I thought Buffalo did a good job. The real danger for Baltimore is what Lamar Jackson can do on those third downs when he pulls it down. It's just hard to know what coverage to play on the back end, and they did a good job late making some really nice tackles on him when he got out in the open field.
Yeah, it's a nice win for Buffalo. Go on the road and win. You'll take it no matter how you get it done. All right, let's get to my winner and loser. But first,
First Fidelity Bank is a full-service financial institution based in Oklahoma with tailored solutions for all your personal and business needs, checking accounts, saving accounts, home loans, and much more. They do it all, whether it's online banking from your computer or mobile banking from your phone. Everything is stress-free with FFB. Making mobile deposits, paying bills online, and moving money to different accounts could not be easier. First Fidelity Bank provides free ATMs worldwide, making banking convenient wherever you are. They also give back to the community. FFB donates a total of more than $500,000 to local charities and educational foundations. Make your life easier and go bank with First Fidelity Bank. Visit ffb.com for more information.
and if you're a whiskey or bourbon drinker, stop what you're doing, head to your favorite liquor store and buy some Balcones products. You got to grab some of Balcones Lineage single malt whiskey. It was voted one of the top 20 whiskeys in the world by Whiskey Advocate, and you'll be shocked by how affordable it is. Also, you got to snag some of Balcones Baby Blue Corn whiskey.
It's made from blue corn. That's the fancy corn.
And that is why it has won more than 25 awards. Last but certainly not least, you got to buy some of Balcones Pot Still Bourbon. Its big flavors make it the perfect bourbon to drink year round. Remember, in 2012, Balcones Single Malt won the Best in Glass competition, beating brands like Johnny Walker and Macallan. This stuff is the real deal, people. If you love great whiskey and bourbon at a great price, the Balcones products are the only way to go. The whiskey may be made in Texas, but the owners are from Oklahoma. To find a liquor store that has it, visit balconesdistilling.com. All right, for my winner of the weekend, I thought about going with that chunky kicker from Missouri. I mean, that guy was awesome. Now, listen, I know they ended up losing the game. Georgia did what they needed to do late to get that one to escape Columbia with the win. But Harrison Mevis, who checks in, I went to the roster to check, 5'11", 254. I think he's probably a little heavier than 254. I'm just going to say it. But he was money, man. 5 of 5 field goals of 49, 41, 22, 52, and 56. Ted, we see you, thick fella.
Wow. That's like the height and weight of my brick mailbox, I think.
Some serious girth on Mevis.
They could, it opens up some things that they could do in the fake field goal aspect, like using him as a lead blocker for the holder on some stuff. That's funny.
I don't know if he's built for that wearing 92, but he did his job at a very high level. That was good stuff. And that little strut he had to the sideline was probably my favorite moment in college football on Saturday. It was tremendous. But also thought about going with DJ Uiagalelei, man.
Yeah.
It's a big win for Clemson over North Carolina State. And DJ was awesome. He looked good, had some beautiful throws.
He's shutting down the critics. And there were a lot of them, including myself, after the way the season started. He's bounced back. It's that one play, man. That one little play he made in that game where he had that little shovel pass when he was about to take that sack. He's turned it around since then and looked pretty good.
Yeah, 21 of 30 for 209 and a touchdown, no interceptions. Used his legs really well in this game. Had 2 rushing touchdowns. Big dude, but I mean, Clemson's defense made NC State one-dimensional. Devin Leary continues to be meh, but the Clemson Tigers, and now you look at the rest of the schedule, team's in good shape, man. Yep. Team's in good shape. They've basically gone through the hardest part of their schedule. They've come out undefeated. So the Clemson Tigers they're going to be in the old playoff picture. I'm not sure if they'll make it. Maybe they drop one along the way, but they're in very good shape, and their quarterback is playing at a high level. But there's only one choice for winner of the weekend, and that's the Kansas Jayhawks. The 5-0 Kansas Jayhawks. And really, they're my winner of the weekend, Ted, because of the way that they won. Not just because they won, but the way that they won, because Jalen Daniels in that offense that has been so special for them, they really couldn't get anything going against Iowa State's defense. Not much. It was Kansas's defense that won them this football game. The biggest play of the game probably is the Kobe Bryant interception. Now, that's a bad decision by Hunter Deckers, who seems to like making bad decisions. Mm-hmm. But that sets them up. They go up 14-0 there and never look back, man. And they sacked Hunter Deckers 5 times, pressured him a lot more, completely shut down Iowa State's running game. And it was, I mean, Kansas did not score in the second half, and they won the football game.
It's crazy that their offense has been leading the way, obviously, for the first 4 games. And in this one, for their defense to play the way that they did. And it's not that Iowa State is any type of great offense. They're not. But it just goes to show you that Kansas is they're close to putting it all together to have a full, it's not just going to be an offensive type of football team. If they can put it together on both sides of the ball, they got a chance against anyone in this conference.
Yeah. And it's kind of what we've talked about with OU's offense and defense, right? With how much OU's defense is struggling right now, the offense has to lift them up, right? Mm-hmm. I mean, that's, complementary football. Now, in a perfect world, you're playing great, both offensively and defensively. But I thought that it said a lot about Kansas. Like, that offense that had been the entire story, right? All the articles have been written about Jalen Daniels. Nothing good was said about the defense. When the offense needed them to step up, they did, and they got it done. I thought that told us a lot about that football team. Also, helps when the other kicker stinks. I mean, what, three missed field goals for Iowa State, including one that would have tied the game with 30 seconds left. Just brutal. And you and I, we were talking about it in the car on the way home. It's like, there's no chance. This guy's going to hook it. He's going to hook it. And then, my goodness, meow.
Man, as a kicker, when you've missed 2 already, and you're going out there for the 3rd, and it's either to win the game or to tie it or something like that, it's almost an inevitability that, because it just comes down to mindset and your mentality at that point. Like, you're trying to change things. There's no belief in what you're doing. You're trying to overcompensate. And it really is not a good position to be in. And they didn't want to be in that position, but credit Kansas's defense for continuing to make them snap it again. We were listening to the game, and the entire second half felt like it was played on Kansas's end of the field, with Iowa State having the football with good field position, and they just could not punch it in. They had to continue to settle for field goal opportunities.
Yeah, that kicker, he's going to hear that dong in his nightmares.
Twice, right?
I think he hit it twice on the first 2, and then the third one just never had a chance. But
it's like there's like a microphone on the upright, like in the NBA. You know how when someone hits the rim on a jumper,
the rim mic?
Yeah. It's the sound that you can hear throughout the entire stadium, no matter what's going on in there. The dreaded dong.
Yeah, it was. That's a brutal way to lose a football game. But one very cool thing: College game day, going to Lawrence. for TCU versus Kansas. First time ever. Pretty unfortunately, one of the reasons they're going is because TCU beat OU the way that they did. But still very, very cool for Lance Leipold. Those players, that fan base, I'm sure that's going to be a scene in Lawrence.
Confidence is a hell of a thing, right? Whenever a team starts to believe in themselves, believe in each other, there's total buy-in. Everyone focuses intently on what their job is and making sure they take care of their role. It's teams any team in college football can become really dangerous whenever they've got all those things on their side.
Yeah.
And a great quarterback to boot.
Yeah, no doubt. All right, for my loser of the weekend, thought about going with Minnesota. I don't think we've talked about the Gophers at all this season, but there's been a lot of hype for them, coming out of the West there in the Big Ten. They laid an absolute egg at home against Purdue, lost 20-10. Really disappointing for PJ Fleck. Now their star running back, the Ibrahim guy, he did not play in the game, and they couldn't run the football at all against the Boilermakers. So a disappointing loss for Minnesota. A lot of people high on them, man.
Yeah, they've had some good teams, and injuries have, they just don't have the depth that they need, but it's still a good, dangerous football team. But this year has been a disappointment so far.
Also thought about going with Ferrari. Yeah, Formula One, Ted. It's still going on. What do you think? You've been paying attention? Obviously not.
I have not.
Okay. Well, I watched a lot of it. Sergio Perez ends up winning the Singapore Grand Prix over Leclerc and Sainz, and kind of the salt in the wound for Ferrari. Perez gets the time penalty after the race. They still don't beat him. It was only like 5 seconds, but I think Leclerc was like 7.5 seconds behind, so still lost. It's got to hurt.
Where was Verstappen?
Dead. He died. No one told you?
No,
I'm just kidding. He did not die. He's very much alive.
Well, I thought that's what it was going to take for him to not win a race.
Well, his Red Bull buddy, Sergio Perez, Checo, wins in Singapore, Ted.
Maybe they left his steering wheel on Japanese language, and he couldn't figure out the controls. Is how they got him.
Maybe. I don't know. I don't know how all that works, but also thought about going with Texas A&M as my loser. Like, OU fans are in bad shape right now. Texas A&M fans are right there with them. Turned it over 4 times, got blasted by Mississippi State there in Starkville. They've got Jimbo for 9 more years? Guaranteed.
Yep. Fast talker, which, hey, it's good.
Your offense still stinks.
Yeah. Misery loves company. So, yeah, we're, as OU fans right now, we're rooting for all of the teams out there we love to hate to do the same thing.
Yeah. All right. But my loser of the weekend, the Chicago Bears, just because it was such a bizarre game between them and the Giants. Just really, really weird. The Giants what they did to the Bears defense was so odd. Like, you just don't see it very often in the NFL. You don't see it often in football really anymore. I mean, both Daniel Jones and Tyrod Taylor both played quarterback. Yep. Saquon Barkley they got into the Wildcat a little bit, just doing some interesting stuff. But the Bears lose, and the Giants threw for 71 yards. And I saw a lot of it on Red Zone. I was just like, are they ever going to throw them? And nope. They just ran it right at him. 262 rushing yards for the Giants.
Wow.
Just like, if you weren't watching the game, like, it was just the game flow was so odd, but really the box score afterwards, you look at it and you're like, wait, is that can that happen in today's NFL? 71 passing yards?
Hey, it just goes to show that, to me, the most important thing in football is still the running game. If you can't run it, you're in serious trouble. And if you can, if you can't stop the run, it's going to be a brutal, brutal day for you.
Yeah. Before Danny Dimes rolled the ankle, man. He was running all over the place. I mean, he had a couple touchdown runs. He wasn't throwing it very well, but hey, he was running all over the place. But yeah, just Giants turned it over a couple times. Oh, did you see the muff punt for Chicago late? It's like, hey,
No.
you got an opportunity. Let's go tie the game. Here we go. Punt it, muffed it. Giants get it. Game up. It was a brute. It had to be a very, very bad day for Bears fans to watch that. Like, that could not have been fun.
Yeah. There's nothing worse than it's like the two extremes. The best football game you can ever play as a team is whenever they just can't stop you in the running game. And the clock moves and you're finishing drives and you're punching it in. The offensive line starts to get some attitude and confidence going. And on the flip side, there is nothing worse as a team or a fan base to just watch someone inch the ball down the field 6 yards at a time on you is just the worst.
I also wonder how Bears fans are feeling about Justin Fields. Like, some of these stat lines he's putting up now, 11 of 22, 174. It's just like he's not exactly lighting it up. His last 4 games, 174 yards, 106 yards, 70 yards, 121 yards. So
not good. And the Bears fans are not easy on quarterbacks. They booed, what was his name? They booed him all the way to the Super Bowl.
Rex Grossman.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Hated the guy all the way to the Super Bowl.